Welcome to Your Sasstastic Life. In this episode, we are sharing our live recording from our launch party earlier this year. We kicked it off with answering audience questions, then did a drawing for the hot seat. We drew Kristen Van Hauen's name. Kristen and Wendy go way back to 1995 when they met in cosmetology school, and they were also roommates for a few years and have been friends ever since. We had so much fun at our live event, and we just knew that we wanted to do it again. So make sure you check the show notes to see a link for our live event, September 28th. Enjoy the show.
Kristen.
I knew that was going to happen.
Go buy a lottery ticket after this. Oh, I love it. Get up here. Yes. This is Kristen. This is so great. Okay. So who is familiar with the wheel?
Oh, gosh.
Yes. So what Wendy is doing right now, what we do with our podcast at the end, is that we will have our guests spin the wheel. And on the wheel, we have certain topics.
Oh, God.
Oh, gosh.
When I wrote mine down, I did not think that I was going to have to answer that or talk about it. That's the one right there.
Okay. So Kristen wrote menopause and vaginal dryness. Hey, that is a great topic.
That is a topic. So Drew Barrymore brought it up last week.
Yes.
Was like, girl, let's normalize the word vaginal dryness. So
Yes.
that's been the conversation I've been having with my clients all week. And I was like, hell, why not? Can I talk about you guys for a minute while she finishes that up? I just want to say thank you so much for all that you do for all these amazing women in here, the women in our community. I mean, I'm the one who wrote, like, how do you balance it all? I mean, you and I came into salon ownership around the same time, and I've always so greatly admired how you don't try to make it look easy, you just kind of do. And I think one of the things I've really gotten to know about you is you have boundaries within what you're committed to at the time that you're doing it. And it's like, this is what I'm into right now, and this is what's valued to me, and that's what I'm going to do. And I just admire that greatly about both of you. And I think that's why that keeps coming up, is how do you make it look, right? They make it look easy, right? Yeah. I can tell you, I'm not that good of a duck on the water. My hair's generally falling out if I'm not, trying to fake it till I make it. But you guys, I just want to say thank you for that.
That is so kind. So kind, yes. And I think, with most of you know, I'm pretty public with what goes on in my life on Facebook. And probably about 2 months ago, I was not doing Harmony very well at all. I ended up in the hospital, diverticulitis. My blood pressure was, stroke level. So I was not living my best life whatsoever. But what had happened is that I was no longer honoring those boundaries for myself. And I was slipping back into that, being that yes person. Being that yes person. I want everybody to like me. I want everybody to love what I'm doing. And that's what happens. Who else is guilty of that in this room? Yeah. So, ended up in the hospital for a week. And it was a huge eye-opener. Let me tell you, a huge eye-opener. And remembering what it's like to have to take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and saying no. And that can be hard. I don't care how much harmony I have in my life. That will always be hard for me. Yeah. It will be. It will always be hard for me. So, yeah. Yeah, and the doctors, you literally got to get your shit together or, you're not going to be here. And so, that's just a huge eye-opener. So just remember that, too. There might be times that it looks like we have it all together, and that's so kind of you to say, but literally, I'm calling Wendy every other day crying. I am like, what the fuck? What? Why am I doing this? Oh, my goodness gracious. Seriously, we all are. We all are. Yeah.
Hanging by a string.
A tampon string.
A tampon string, okay. Before we do this fun thing, I would love for you to share with us, Kristen, something that you are most proud of yourself for, something really, really hard that you made it through. Then we'll spin.
Wendy had to ask me this question. Probably one of the hardest things I made it through, and I'm being more vocal about it as I've gotten older, is I used meth for 2 years, and I lived with Wendy when I did it. Wendy did not do it. I'm thankful that influence didn't rub off on her. But one of the most beautiful things that she did with grace, every day when I was in my bathroom and I did my line in the morning to wake up, she said, "I don't know why you need to do that." And I said, "Well, it's just something I just do to get some energy in the morning." And her grace in saying it to me over and over with love made me say one day, why the fuck am I doing this? I got a job opportunity at a salon I'd always wanted to work in Ames. And between her and that godly moment of that job I'd always wanted coming together, I was like, there's more for me. And I left Des Moines. I left all the people that I knew here. I moved in with my mom, and I said, "Hey, Mom, I've been using meth for 2 years." I said, "I just need your help." She's like, "What do you want me to do?" And I'm like, "Just be cool. Just be my friend. I know how this works. No one's going to call me anymore. Nobody needs anything from me because I'm not going to be helping them connect people with other people." And that was really hard. And it's really hard to speak about it now, but it feels good. Wendy and I had a moment about this over COVID, and I think talking about it more shows people that people do some really bad things. Like I was Chrissy the cheerleader in high school. I never thought that was something I would ever do. Most people around me never thought that would ever be something that I would do. And I did. And I'm proud to have made it out of it, which is kind of a first big step into my life. There's a lot of great other things I've done, but that's what I'm most proud of. So.
I'm very proud of you.
I feel like we're on Oprah right now. I need the couch to jump up and down with excitement or something.
You've got a car. We've got a car.
Sorry, no cars.
Just kidding. We're on a budget. We couldn't even hardly afford the nice stickers that we got you guys.
I spent all the money on boys' pads at Costco.
Yeah, we did. But you still got a sticker.
Don't forget your goodie bag.
Exactly. Okay.
All right, rip it. I love game shows growing up, so I just had to have the wheel.
Okay.
So give it a good rip. No, rip it. No, rip it. There you go.
Yes.
Oh God.
Sex.
Okay, now listen, we did not come up with these topics. You guys did. You guys are
It's
dirty.
your fault.
Okay.
Dirty birds. Was it you, Amanda? Of course it was.
What do you want to know about sex?
You are very dirty.
Yeah.
And I love it.
How do I answer that? Where do I start with that?
Can you be a little more specific?
Where's a push off point?
Here, let me ask you this, if this is okay. How long have you and your husband been married?
For 17 years.
17 years.
Yes.
Okay, how do you keep the spark alive after 17 years? Who else has that? Who else needs some ideas about that in the room?
Come on.
Holly, you don't. Holly's dating my son. There better be nothing going on.
Nothing? What?
Yes. They're living in sin. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
So, okay, how do we keep the spark alive? That's a tough one.
Do you guys have date night, or do you make time with each other?
That is one thing that we have been trying to do a lot as a commitment of dating, like having one hangout sesh a week, even if it's an hour. We live in Bondurant, so we go to the little cheeky bar down there in Bondurant, or in Mitchellville. We don't know anybody, but we're always that couple that no one knows that sits over there and talks. We call it table time, actually. Table time, because when you date, you're sitting across the table from one another. So it's like, oh, we got to get some table time in, or it's been a while since we've had table time. So yeah, that kind of leads into other aspects of our life. And he's very modest about communication in this. Yeah, so he would be like, "Kristen, stop talking."
He's gonna love this podcast.
I think connection is the biggest thing. You know, quite a few years ago, we found ourselves like, I'm inside watching TV, he's outside drinking whiskey, I'm irritated, and we realized like we got to try to find some common interest, right? And I'm like, he loves whiskey, I don't, maybe I should like go out and be interested in this. And the first 5 times I did it, I was like, this tastes awful. This is like, this is painful. Like we're just at a really tough spot. Yeah. And so in our relationship, but it was through the love of whiskey that we now became closer, and let's be honest, it wasn't the whiskey, it was that time that I actually forced myself in a time in our relationships where we couldn't really like stand each other, but that definitely helped.
Can we talk about that?
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
I never knew that relationships, like you could spit in nails, like I can't even stand your breath right now. Like,
yes. I love you, but I hate you.
Yeah.
Like, let's get real about that. It's not rainbows and butterflies all the time.
And I'll tell you, after 17 years, we've been together for 23 years, or 22 years, is we just said yesterday morning, we have very different political views, literally. I mean, I have like love is love rainbow on my purse over there, right? Yeah. So we're very different. And even yesterday, I was on my walk and I thought, man, this is tough. Is this a relationship I should stay in? And funny enough, I mean, we honor like true vulnerability and being very honest with each other. I came inside and he was like, man, I was just coming back from dropping the kids off and I'm just having a hard time with our differences. I was like, dude, I was just on a walk thinking the same thing. But the fact that we can actually say that we're thinking the same thing, how hard that is. We know we're coming up on an election year. We're being honest with one another. We're trying to respect the fact that we have to have, like, we're not going to come up with the same stuff, but we do need to respect that there are certain ways and tempos that we can have these conversations without, like, going in opposite directions. But communication is huge.
Especially when you have children.
Yeah.
Also,
and my children have now become on the opposite sides of the spectrum as well.
Okay.
And that is something I never thought I'd ever have to understand. So now I always thought, I'm going to teach my kids diversity, and that's all I have to teach them, and they'll figure it out. Yeah. And now I have one that's way diverse and one that's more conservative. So trying to honor both of them and trying to understand one of them that's not like me, that is like really hard stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's, through love, I just try to be their parent and stuff.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So let's ask you about your 18-year-old self. Okay. We do love to ask this question.
It's my favorite.
Give the example.
So normally we like to have a picture, but just imagine your 18-year-old self, and we're going to hop in a DeLorean because I love Back to the Future. That's why I keep saying DeLorean. If you haven't watched Back to the Future, you are not my friend. Go away. Just kidding. So we're going to hop in a time machine. You literally have like 2 minutes or less. What would you say to your 18-year-old self?
Get over yourself. Let it go.
I like that. Okay.
Let it go. The obsession with being so involved or like so worried about what other people think of you is a waste of time. I kind of lived myself outwardly that I didn't care what other people think care what people think because I dress so wildly. But that was also just an exterior to cover up my interior. I think that would be it. And yeah, like looking at you getting verklempt when you told the story is that, I mean, we all just feel sorry for our 18-year-old self because we were just walking around with so much pain all the time. And I would tell myself, you're safe and it's going to be okay.
I love that.
Yeah. It's going to be okay. My 18th year of high school I didn't sleep for almost half of my senior year. I watched Pretty Women till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning every single night. And come to figure out it was anxiety about my future and what I was going to do. So, I'm being tough today. I'm trying not to let the tears go down. So, but yeah, just...
Tears are truth serum, people. Yeah, okay. Tears are truth serum. Never apologize for crying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, we are happy that you made the choice to care for yourself with, doing drugs because you have so much amazing light to give to this world. You really, really do. So thank you for choosing you.
I feel the same way. Thank you, guys.
Before you leave, we have a related topic on the wheel that I feel like we just have to talk about. And it is menopause and vaginal dryness.
Yes. Yes. Which men would like to talk about that topic?
They're like, no comment.
Anyone?
My wife will never touch me again if I talk to her about it.
So Mr. Producer found this company that sells like a lotion, a bioidentical hormone thing for women.
Yes.
And it's funny because they're super sassy, and we were like, maybe we should reach out to them. But I died laughing because one of the posts said, What do I do when it feels like I'm having sex with a cheese grater?
Stop.
You want to kid? Yeah. It is like, I think it's funny because doing hair for 29 years, you have heard every menopause story known to man.
We talked about that.
And you're like, that shit is not happening to me. Whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm not going to pee my pants when I laugh or just pee all day long. I'm not going to happen to me. And then it happens to you. And then you're like, this. I was watching Sons of Anarchy. That was like 10 years ago. And there's a part where Gemma's like, I'm all dried up. Like, I was like, whatever, it's not that dramatic. And it is that dramatic. And I felt like it happens that fast. And so I love that Drew Barrymore was talking about it last week. I'm like, all right, let's make that and normalize that. That it's real. Like you know, I don't do reading and obsess about these stuff. My doctor, when I had my kids, is like, save yourself some pain and don't read all these fucking dumb books, okay?
Yeah.
Kids have been mom has been having babies in less than perfect condition for thousands of years. So I kind of have done the same thing with menopause. So when these things have crept up, I'm like, yo, whoa. So yeah,
It's no joke.
So yeah, there's that. I just brought out vaginal dryness. Everyone say vaginal dryness.
Yes. Say it together.
Vaginal
Say it together.
dryness.
I love it. One more time.
Vaginal dryness.
Let's make a song out of it. The vaginal dryness.
This is awesome. My face is
love it.
slightly red. I don't get embarrassed, right?
Oh, goodness. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You
for
very
having me.
brave soul for coming into the hot seat.
Thank you for
We love
having
you.
me. Yes.
Yes, we love you.
Your Sasstastic Life is produced by Apex VO. Go to apexvo.com. That's APEXXVO.